For Videowave, I'm Bonnie. I'm talking to Kory Clarke here from Warrior Soul, and he so graciously invited us to his apartment here in New York on Great John Street. Oh, we better not say that, because we're going to have hordes and hordes of people coming by.
Well, for those of you that know me and you're turning the channel right now, I'm really sorry, but there's plenty of other stations. And for those of you who don't know me, this is my house where I live. And Bonnie's come over to talk to me about it.
Kory, I found you along with our associate producer, Michelle Pisa, at the Lismar Lounge not too far from here, once upon a time, a couple years ago. And your platform at that time was very New York versus LA in terms of the music scene, which, I don't know, I think in a way has died down, but it was certainly polarized at the time. But you went out to LA for your record company. You probably had a chance to stay. What made you come back and find this amazing apartment in the interim and all that kind of stuff?
Well, LA to me is like kind of lonely. It's a lonely place, for me anyway. I like it, and I like staying out there and stuff, but I used to think I wanted to go live out there, but not really, not anymore. I like it here better. But the thing about back when I got signed was that LA bands got all the publicity, and no one in New York got any publicity, and I just got pissed off. And it's more a thing about writers and how they tend to congregate to one city, and they all like if one band starts happening, they all run over there, and then it's like, oh God, there's another band, and they all run over there.
Yeah.
They're all urinators, and I don't really care.
It's really true.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but I want to ask you. I mean, does New York fuel your fire in terms of you as a writer?
Yeah.
Creative inspiration.
Yeah, I mean.
And how does a setting like this inspire that?
Well, this is calming.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, it's funny because when we were coming up here, I certainly didn't expect. I expected everything to be dark, for one.
Right.
And I don't want to. The word body is somewhat negative, but I don't mean it that way.
It certainly is.
But something, I think he's checking approval. Now, not to say that you were dark and gaudy yourself, but you were certainly an angry young man. And
you probably thought I had like one chair, one spoon, one plate,
yeah, and
one glass.
Black paint everywhere.
Sort of an austere kind of lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know.
But in fact,
it's quite relaxing.
Can we go look at
Let's take a little tour of my relaxing environment.
All right, great.
Environs. As when my wife's here, it's not quite as relaxing for me. But as you can see, this is these are the new encyclopedias I just got for $10. I'm really thrilled about that. It's like, you know, lifestyles of the not rich and not quite famous.
Been getting closer all the time. Right up.
This is
John.
my guitar player. Whoa, John!
Oh, hey, what's going on?
God, what are you doing here?
Just relaxing, listening to the Gregorian music or in the background.
It's really true. Do you come over here for the piece that maybe helps you write with Warrior Soul?
Well, my apartment's the other side. It's the darker.
It's the dark. It's the
Yeah,
black. I guess we should have shot maybe
purple.
over at John's.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, yeah, that's my house.
It sure is.
Yeah, peace and quiet is nice here.
Exactly. No, it's very beautiful. And we're just getting started.
It's like we all have different tastes. It's like, it's really important to the music that everyone knows our apartments are cool. But this is Manhattan Cable, and this is the kind of stuff we do on Manhattan Cable.
Exactly.
So it's like, Cliff St. Croix, how you doing? I think one of the problems with New York City, I mean, I know you probably will agree with this, is that it's so hard for bands to rehearse here because of economic restraints. You know, it's so expensive, and there's really not many places to play anymore either. They've all kind of dried up with the recession. So the bands that are still kicking around here trying to get signed, they really have a lot going against them, and I'm envious of their you know, savvy. They really, you know, keep going,
Can stick it out.
and it's cool because eventually it's gonna, the pendulum will swing back, hopefully.
Yeah, well, we're waiting for that.
Yeah.
And I think you guys certainly were a testimonial, which is actually interesting because I wanted to ask you about your video, which was shot here in one of the New York clubs, which at one time was probably the first, the Limelight.
Right.
Wasn't, I mean, and then, you know, which spawned several other Limelights. Was the first one in London? Actually, I should probably know this. But
You know, I don't actually know either.
certainly
But
extremely important. And, you know, the Limelight is another example of a club that's trying to hang in after years and years. So, you know, the post-disco and
Right.
early 80s heyday.
Well, Danceteria was over there too, and you had,
Yeah.
there used to be so many places to play here. It's, when the East Village started to happen, it was so great, and all the different art and painting and sculpture and performance and poetry and writing. I mean, it was a lot, so much stuff going on here, and it just seems maybe everybody's been priced out. I mean, obviously they have, but it's kind of a sad thing.
It's really true. Well, we're trying, and certainly with you know, cable, certainly trying to keep everything alive in that way. But we want to show you all this video called Wasteland, and once again, Warrior Soul keeping the New York nightlife alive, and certainly the club. And let's take a look, and we'll talk about how making a video happen. This is Videowave. So that was Wasteland from Warrior Soul, and this is Kory and John, singer, guitarist. I'm sure you probably figured that out. And tell us, I mean, were those you know, 18,000 of your closest friends that were jamming there? I love to find out about that.
Yeah, we're so popular here. Everyone loves us in Manhattan. No, I don't. It's
That show, like,
What was
was the
that?
best turnout for
It
them.
was like a Sunday night.
Yeah,
Remember that?
right.
I
It's
mean,
like the best turnout they've had for this past year.
really?
Yeah. Well, they have a pretty good built-in crowd, and we hadn't played the city in a long time, so a lot of people came down. It was pretty interesting to see people like knowing all the words to every song, including the spoken word parts on the first
Wow.
album. Yeah, it was. I found it interesting and slightly scary. The reaction was really great. The air conditioners kick in at that place, so we knocked out a tune a little bit.
Yeah.
The force of the energy of the band just seemed to pull us through, and it was pretty fortunate that we were able to have enough volume to crank the masses. But that club is really good for that kind of a show, and we shot some of it in LA. I went out and shot some location stuff because that's what the song's partly about, is running around, hiding yourself in major population centers and not getting caught by the government and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Is that autobiographical?
well, it's I'm pretty much above board nowadays because that's you got to do your social security number and all this stuff with the record company and stuff. But if you don't have to do it, I suggest if you can, don't pay your taxes and
Don't pay your cable bills?
yeah, if you can, get away with it because they're just going to blow your money anyway, and or it goes into some official's pockets somewhere, or his bank that closed.
God.
It's really a cute environment we live in, right?
But you've been given an opportunity to talk about it.
That's true. I appreciate that.
I mean, how do you feel? This is, the second record here, and I mean, how do you feel on the second record? Are you angrier? Are you glad to have at least been able to vent a little bit the first time around? Did it mature? What you all were feeling?
It definitely matured. I mean, as far as sound-wise, it's more powerful, I think.
At least we think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
It is. There's no question.
I think we got a lot out on the first record because there's so much built up anger.
And then you had to come rather quickly with the second.
Yeah.
I mean, there were years in the making as far as all kinds of writing and things like that.
Right.
So what happened the second time around? I mean,
it was a little bit easier the second time because I had a band to work with,
Yeah.
and when you get members into a band,
Right.
you write a lot more because they're
Once
new.
it gels together, you know, you just play off each other more and works less.
Do you feel the same way? Do you share the same views as Kory? As radically, if I may say that?
Maybe not as radically, but of course, yes.
Yeah.
But basically, my job is writing music. Kory speaks is mine.
Yeah, I don't want to drag anyone else into it. It's enough being hounded by, you know, by people about just saying basic truth. I mean, even when I just say basic things on the record, people are like, "Wow, he must be an intellectual. He's talking about stuff." And it's not really like that. I give basic concepts. I don't like the administration that's in power now. I want to get rid of them. I think they stink. It's really basic. And people start going, "Whoa, he's talking politics." I'm just talking like, get these jerks out of office.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And it's, I think that's a pretty basic concept. And people come off and saying to me, you know, "Well, it sounds kind of retro, like maybe from the 60s. And it's like,
I was gonna say, are you getting the Jim Morrison?
yeah, it's sometimes it's,
or you know, particularly in the year of the Doors here.
Well,
91. I mean,
it's so bogus when
it doesn't matter if you do.
yeah, it's like I draw from Captain Beefheart and Patti Smith more than I do draw from Jim Morrison. As a matter of fact, I've never bought a Doors record. I've never purchased a Doors record in my life. I
That's
don't.
because he has friends at Electra Records.
But it's not. I mean, I think they're awesome. They're a great band. I think Jim Morrison's a great writer and super personality and really wild. But I'm so much more politically motivated.
True.
Whereas it was considered political back then just to say, well, like, stop the war. You know, that was like a big deal. You know, whoopee-doo. You know, it's like you got, you know, a super huge issue that everybody is against, and you're like, oh, stop it. It's like whoopee crap. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It's like try to pick out the issues that are going on now and try to form them into some kind of consistency and try to, instead of isolating each one, you've got to kind of bunch them all together to give them the impact you need. And it's like you have to be very clever because you come off too intellectual, people go, forget it. And if you come off too simple, they're like, well, you're just, you know, you're being too vague on the issue. And it's, you know, I get a little bit tired of being over criticism. It's like, look, man, I'm just saying real stuff. That's all. I should be given credit for that because nobody else is saying it. So, blow me.
No, we're applauding you.
Yeah, well,
because you're here.
I understand you
No,
do, but I mean,
and
my
it's-
detractors in the audience, you know, if you don't dig it, well, blow me.
No,
Simple.
because they probably will change the channel by now.
Yeah, well,
We know
I
that
think
is
back
too.
there with the, you know, fuck Bush and the other.
Right on.
something like that.
Right on.
But listen, more power to you because it's really important.
You're cool, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.